Learn English through stories. B9. Adapted and modified by Kulwant Singh Sandhu. Contents: 1. Belle the cat. 2. Yellow sweet corn and green peas. 3. Robert the Bruce. 4. Hector the snail. 5. Picture dictionary page. 1. Belle the cat. There was a grocery shop in a town. Plenty of mice lived in that grocery shop. Food was in plenty for them. They ate everything and damaged all the bags. They also wasted the bread, biscuits, and fruits of the shop. Sohan Lal, the grocer, got really worried. So he thought, I should buy a cat and let it stay at the grocery shop. Only then I can save my things. He bought a nice, big, fat cat. His name was Big Tom. He let him stay there. The cat had a nice time hunting the mice and killing them. Sohan Lal was also very happy because he was saving a lot of money. His wife and children were also very happy because Sohan Lal took home ladoos and veggie burgers every Friday and Sunday. The only unhappy were the mice. The mice could not move freely now. They were afraid that any time the cat would eat them up. The mice wanted to do something. They held a meeting and all of them squeaked, "We must get rid of the cat. Can someone give a suggestion?" All the mice sat and thought very seriously. A smart-looking mouse stood up and said, "The cat moves quietly. That is the problem. If we can tie a bell around his neck, then things will be fine. We will eat and play when he is away. As soon as we hear the bell, we run and hide." They all clapped with their paws. Even the smart-looking mouse was clapping and laughing at his own suggestion. They all were singing, "We can do it. We can trick the cat." When they all calmed down, the old mouse slowly stood up and said, "Well done, Smarty, to come up with a suggestion like that. Please answer one question. Who would tie the bell?" After some moments, there was no one there to answer this question. They all went to their hiding place and packed up their things and left the shop. Moral: empty solutions are of no worth. 2. Yellow sweet corn and green peas. Brian sat down for dinner. He sat down in the chair. He sat down at the table. He looked at his red plate. He looked at his silver fork and knife. He looked at his silver spoon. His dad said, "Pass me your plate, Brian." His dad put a piece of roast chicken on the plate. His dad put yellow sweet corn on the plate. His dad put green peas on the plate. He put some rice on the plate. Dad asked Brian, "Shall I pour some gravy?" "No, thanks, Dad. I do it myself," said Brian. Dad gave the plate back to Brian. "This looks delicious," Brian said. "It is delicious," his dad said. Brian poured some gravy on the piece of roast chicken. The food was really delicious. Brian enjoyed every bit of it. Brian put the empty plate in the kitchen sink and said, "Dad, I do the washing up. You can watch a football match or the cricket." Brian washed all the dishes and cleaned the kitchen surface. Then he sat at the table and wondered why sweet corn was yellow. He wondered why peas were green. He wondered if there were yellow peas and green corn. Brian wondered, would they taste the same and delicious? 3. Robert the Bruce. Many years ago there lived a king of Scotland and his name was Robert the Bruce. If a first name is Robert and a last name is Bruce, you might think his name would be Robert Bruce. Yet this king's name was Robert the Bruce. And that is how names were said in Scotland back in those days. Robert the Bruce was a brave and wise king. He had to be brave and wise because his country was at war with England. England was a much bigger country than Scotland and had a much bigger army. Robert the Bruce led his small army of Scotland against England 6 times. And 6 times they had lost. At last, Robert the Bruce and his army felt they had no choice. They must run away. But to where? Some men ran into the woods. Others found a cave. Here and there they hid. And they waited. One rainy day, Robert the Bruce lay in a cave. The rain fell hard outside. He felt tired and sick at heart. His army had lost 6 times. He may as well just give up, he thought. What good was it to try anyway? As he lay there, Robert the Bruce saw a spider over his head. The spider was getting ready to weave her web. 6 times she tried to throw her thread from one edge of the cave wall to another. And 6 times her thread was too short and it fell before it hit the mark. But the spider did not lose hope. With more care, she made ready to try another time. Robert the Bruce almost forgot his own hard times. He could not take his eyes off the spider. Would she fail again? No. This time the thread reached the cave wall and stuck. So the king rose out of his cave. He called his men together. England thought they won the war, he said. And so their army could be surprised. All they needed was to fight one more time. He knew they could do it. So Robert the Bruce led his brave men into battle for a 7th time. And now it was the army of England that ran away. They ran right onto their ships and sailed all the way back to England. England saw that from then on, Scotland would be its own country. Scotland readied to be its own country from now on. Who would be king? Why, Robert the Bruce, of course. And so he was. To this very day, people in Scotland remember the story of Robert the Bruce. They thank him for bringing his men together a 7th time to fight for Scotland. And they remember the spider in the cave who inspired him to keep on trying. 4. Hector the Snail. Once there was a snail who lived in a jungle. Everybody knows they're very slow. They don't have long legs to run with. They are very small. They cannot move fast. They cannot jump. But this snail wanted to be fast. His name is Hector. He is a good thinker. He has an idea. He thinks he will go to a wizard. He will ask to swap bodies. He will ask to swap with a fast animal. He is thinking of many animals: a rabbit, a hare, a deer, a sheep, a goat, a chicken, a pigeon, and many more. Which animal? He cannot make his mind up. He thinks more and more. Ostrich, he shouts. I know an ostrich is a bird. It cannot fly. Who cares? It can run very, very fast. If I swap my body with an ostrich, I will be very, very fast. Now, I have to find a wizard. The wizard can help me to swap. I think I have to travel far. Well, even nearby is far for me. Let's pack up and move. So Hector the snail traveled to find a wizard. He had to travel very far. He went through villages, he went through towns, he went through cities. People looked at him and then they turned their noses up at him. Sometimes people stepped on him. They put their foot on him. He went through deserts where there was so dry and no water. He went through tropical areas where there was too much rain and water. He went through caves where it was very wet and birds tried to eat him. In one of these caves, he found a wizard without a name. Hector the snail had always thought that wizards were very important people. They had nice clothes and long, clean beards, so of course they had names. But this wizard was very short and had no clothes, and when Hector asked what his name was, he said, I don't need a name. Are you really a wizard? Said Hector. Of course. Are you really a snail? I'm not like the wizards you find in books. Bah! Who wants to be like them? Then everyone comes to you and asks you to solve all their problems. Oh, said Hector. He wanted the wizard to solve his problem. Oh, go on, tell me what it is, said the wizard. I like snails more than people, so I might solve your problem, if I feel like it. So Hector explained his problem. Huh, said the wizard. Well, that's new, but there's just one small problem. I can only swap you with another animal if that animal wants to swap bodies. Really? Yes, I'm a good wizard. See, if I swapped your body with an ostrich, I don't think that ostrich would be very happy, and you're not going to find any ostrich who wants to swap bodies with a snail, I think. Anyway, you don't know how to move like an ostrich. You would look very stupid. Oh, said Hector. Oh dear, said the wizard. Am I really getting sad because of a snail? Look, I can help you in another way. I don't think you can, said Hector. All I really want is to be fast. Well, yes, I can't make you fast, said the wizard. But why don't you just ride on an ostrich's back? It'll be easier to find an ostrich who will let you ride on their back than an ostrich who will let you swap bodies with them. What a good idea, said Hector. Thank you, Mr. Wizard. Please call me Bartholomew. I do have a name, actually. I just don't like telling most people. So Hector went to find a friendly ostrich so that he could ride on its back. But the ostriches lived in hot places, and they had never seen a snail before. They thought he was a horrible thing, and when he asked if he could ride on their back, they tried to eat him. Hector was afraid because he thought the ostriches might take his house off his back, so he ran away. Finally, Hector found a farm with many horses on it. He stopped to take a drink of water, but the horses were not happy. Hey, that's our water, they said. Go away, you horrible snail. He's not a problem, said one of the horses. Look, he's so small and thirsty. Let him drink. So the other horses left, and Hector talked to the nice horse. I'm Chestnut, said the horse. We don't have a lot of snails around here. Are you new? Yes, said the snail. But I probably won't stay long. I left home looking for a wizard because I wanted to swap bodies with a faster animal, but I couldn't do that, so I tried to ride on an ostrich's back, but they didn't want that, so now I'm here, and the other horses don't like me either. If you want to ride on an animal's back, said the horse, then ride on mine. Oh, said Hector. If it's okay, I would love to, but you probably have humans who want to ride you as well. I couldn't ride your back very often. I hate the humans, said Chestnut. Children, I can never run fast when they're on my back because they get afraid and some of them kick me. Kick you, but you're so beautiful. I know, said Chestnut. I'll tell you what, if you can find a way to free me, then you can ride on my back for the rest of your life. So Chestnut and Hector thought, and Hector had an idea. In the night, Hector ran all over Chestnut's body. Actually, it took him a very long time. Chestnut laughed because it felt very strange to have the snail move all over his body. In the morning, the horse looked different. He had snail trails all over him. When the humans saw him, they were very surprised. Oh no, is he sick? Asked one of the girls. Chestnut coughed and lay down on the ground. We'll have to take him to the doctor, said a human man. So they took Chestnut out, and when the humans weren't looking, he ran. Hector was on his back, and they ran far away from the farm. Because Hector had traveled this way before, he knew where to go. He took Chestnut to a forest where the humans would never find them. Oh, I'm free, said Chestnut. That was so much fun, said Hector. You were so fast. I felt like I was flying. And so from that day on, Hector and Chestnut were best friends. Every day, Chestnut went for a run with Hector on his back. When the humans tried to take Chestnut back to the farm, Hector made clever plans to stop them, so the horse was always free. They lived happily ever after. 5. Picture dictionary page.